All right, hello and welcome to a session of our Fit Essentials Basics. If you're choosing to wear your B3 bands today, we just added air, so you're going to want to go ahead and do that. And otherwise, we're going to start from standing today. So go ahead and come on up to standing. We're going to do our spinal cord breathing to start. So go ahead and walk your feet in. You want them just underneath those hips. Draw your stomach in. Establish a nice soft bend in your knees. You're going to keep that position throughout. When you're ready, you're going to breathe in. Try to breathe in through the nose. You circle those arms around. Welcome, Christina. Bring your palms together. Draw your elbows in as well. And now as you breathe out, tuck your body into a little ball. Draw that belly in towards the chest. Bow your head down. And then when you're ready to breathe in, try to breathe through the nose. Lift the chest. Circle those arms back and down. You want to lift the head so you look up to where the wall meets the ceiling. And then on the exhale, you return back, tuck into that little ball. The whole time I keep that soft bend in my knees. And when I feel like my feet are securely planted into the floor. Good job. Breathe in, opening the chest, drawing those elbows back. Try to squeeze your tush here so you don't overarch that spine between 2 and 3 more times. Tucking down and in. Just move at the tempo that feels right for your body. It's a nice smooth opening here. 1 or 2 more. Open the body, open the chest and shoulders, squeeze that tush. And this will be my last exhale. Try to get a little bit more air out than last time. When you need to breathe in, drop those arms down, lift the chest, standing up nice and tall. Great job. Walk the feet a little bit wider, bring the hands up onto the hips, and go ahead and loosen up those hips from here, circling around. Good. When you're ready, reverse the circles, take them the other way. Wonderful. From here, we're going to work a little bit of balance as we loosen up those ankles. So if you need to balance yourself or steady yourself anywhere, you can stand near the wall. I'm going to demo from the chair here. As you hold on, you're going to lift up. If you don't need to hold on, that's great too. I'm going to lift 1 foot up off the ground. You don't have to be this high, but I'm trying to avoid the shadow of moose in the background. You know, circle those ankles around 5 to 10 times one direction. Then when you're ready, circle that ankle the other way. Super. Once you've evened it out both directions, we'll switch legs, plant it down, lift on up. You can balance, arms to the sides, eyes up. Good. Circle the other direction. And set it on down from there. Super. All right, we're going to go ahead and start moving with our first circuit. If you want to have like a nice light dumbbell around, we're going to be doing what we call some crossbody chops. And you can hold a nice light dumbbell as you do this. If you're feeling a little bit stiff in your spine today, maybe stick without the dumbbell and you can just make a fist. But for now, just set it to the side so you have a nice clear space. We're going to be starting with our march and punch. Walk those feet in, draw the belly and bring your hands up to the sides. And then when you're ready, lift up through that midline as you raise the knee and then punch those arms across the body. Anyone that wants a faster tempo, you could turn this into a skip. Right now for this basic class, we're going to demo a little bit slower here. Breathing out as we punch across, lifting the knee, lift the foot and toes. Wonderful. 10 seconds left. Really push that big toe down, stay level through those hips, and pause. Beautiful. If you would like to use the dumbbell for those crossbody chops, go ahead and pick it up now. I'm just going to hold it right on the center of my dumbbell. With my feet about hip width apart, belly nice and strong, I'm going to push my hips back, bring the dumbbell to your right hip, and then I'm going to think about throwing the water over my opposite shoulder. So I send my hips back, bowing forward, and then chop across. Good. Down and over. Good. And so the side that I'm bringing the dumbbell down to my hips or my hands down to the hips, I'm going to pivot on that foot. 10 seconds left, and then we'll switch sides. Over and up. Good. Over and up. When you're ready, get ready for the same thing, opposite side. Reset the feet. Draw the stomach in. And then same idea from here, bringing your hands towards your left hip. And now you're gonna throw the water over your right shoulder, down and back. Good, so I breathe in as I come to the hips, breathe out as I reach over the shoulder. Breathe in, breathe out, good. And remember that left foot, the side that you're reaching away from, can pivot right up on the ball of the foot, and then I sit back into the heel as I bring it back down, good. Couple more. Down and up. Beautiful. When you finish that, set the dumbbell down again. Make sure your space stays nice and clear. Somewhere that you can open up those arms nice and wide. We're going to work our stepping or hopping if you choose. Seal jacks next. With my feet close, arms are going to reach straight out. I'm going to step my feet wide and open up the hands. As I step the feet in, I close the hands. Step them out and open the hands. Here we go. And I'm alternating sides. Good. If anybody wants to hop here, it looks like this. Otherwise, you can stick with that step. 15 seconds left. So as you open the hands, try to imagine squeezing your shoulder blades back and together. Have that nice open chest position. Beautiful. Clap those hands in front of the bodies. Generate a little energy with that clap. And one more. And shake it out. All right. Final exercise of this series. You're going to walk the feet in. Draw the stomach in. We're just going to go into a little bit of a toe touch here. Long spine as you slide down to reach for the toes or as close as you feel comfortable. And then you'll slowly come on up. Squeeze the tush as you raise those arms up to overhead. We'll do that about 3 times. Hands back to the thighs. Draw the stomach in. Long spine as you send those hips back, slowly lowering down. And then push through your legs. Gradually come on up. Squeeze that tush as you raise those arms to overhead. Wonderful. One more time now. Stomach up and in. Practicing that long spine position on this movement. Sometimes we do round through the spine. Today we're trying to stay long through the spine. Raise those arms high. Squeeze the tush, not overarch that low back. And let's shake it out. All right. We get about a 15-second rest. And then we're going to come back to the top with that march and punch. Take a nice deep breath, walking those feet in. Draw the chest back, lift up to that mid body in 2, 1. Here we go. Push through that big toe as you raise the knee, punch across that opposite side. If that balance is hard for you, I recommend moving a little bit slower here, focusing on those positions. If you feel strong with your balance today, then you can move a little bit faster. Halfway through. Keep those eyes up though, trying to look straight ahead, and that punch should be high level of the shoulders. Wonderful, good. Nice, Shirley, doing great. Last one, and rest. All right, crossbody chops. You can either make a fist with your hand, interlace the fingers, or grab that light dumbbell. We're gonna start with the fist or the dumbbell at your left hip. And then when you're ready, we're going to throw the water over your right shoulder. So I send the hips back, bring the weight to that left side, and then pivot the body as I throw the water over the shoulder. Good. Breathe in as you bow forward. Breathe out as you twist and pivot. So down and up. Good. Surely just keep those elbows bent throughout. That's a great modification, Diane. Over and across. Excellent. Moving well, Amy. Couple more. Breathe in as we come down, breathe out across, and let's shake it out. We're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. So just reset the feet. Now we'll bring the hands to the opposite hip. And when you're ready, let me show you from the side on this one. I'm hinging the hips, and then I'm twisting through the ball of the foot as I bring the hands up. So I'm down, and then up and look over. I'm down, up and over. Good stretch, Moose. Halfway there. Breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. Let's get about 2 more reps. Stomach draws in. Great opener for the hips. Good work for that midline. Good job. Set the weight down. We're moving into our seal jacks next. I'm going to step. Anybody wants to hop, that's always an option. Feet closed, hands together, straight in front of the body. Open the feet, open the arms. Close them down and open it up. Wonderful. Find that rhythm. Be intentional with that exhale, breathing out as you clap those hands together. Breathe in as you open. Final 10 seconds here. 2, 1, and great job there. All right, last exercise, a little bit more of that mobility piece, working on that forward fold position this time. Soft bend the knees, draw the belly in, hands to the thighs, return to that toe touch, sliding the hands down, reaching for the feet, and then push the feet to the ground, slide on up. This time, instead of reaching up to overhead, I invite you to bring the palms of your hands onto the low back, squeeze the tush, and just gently open the front of the chest, look up towards the sky, avoid that pinching sensation. And then we'll do that once or twice more, sliding down, reach for the feet, feel a gentle stretch in the back of the body. And it's common to feel like you get a little bit deeper into that forward fold each time as your body starts to wake up. And then you'll bring the palms to the low back, squeeze the tush, gently look up, and take a pause from there. All right, very nice. Grab a drink of water. I'm going to let the dog outside, and then we'll get ready for that next circuit. All right, Miss. Good boy. All right, everyone, coming up next, we've got some 3 rounds of our intervals. Each round is going to be a little bit shorter in the time domain. So we're going to start with 1 minute of work. We're going to be working a dumbbell row in your non-dominant arm. So if you're stronger in your right arm, let's start in your left hand. If you're and then, or vice versa. In between arms, we're going to be working our squatting position. You can sit and stand from the chairs, which is what I'm going to demo on set 1, or you can do a little bit more of a squat pulse. It's going to be a minute of work, so keep that in mind. And then we're going to do the opposite arm. At the end of the set, you can either come down on the floor for a plank, or I'm going to be demoing from an elevated surface with the option of making it a mountain climber. All right, we'll kind of move through, kind of waking up our body as we're moving here, starting with our dumbbell row, non-dominant arm. So you're going to have your feet about hip width apart. Draw your stomach in, establish that soft bend in the knees, and then nice wide handprint on the side that's supporting. When you're ready, drawing that elbow straight up towards the sky. Breathe in as you reach forward. Breathe out as you draw that elbow high. Want to have that support arm be nice and straight. We're looking to have a nice long spine position here. And we're trying to get that movement through that shoulder blade. So as you reach forward, feel that shoulder come forward just gently, reaching towards the ground. And then you're going to retract it back and in, pulling that elbow as high as you can towards the sky. Wonderful. We're over halfway. Breathe in on the forward reach, breathing out on that upright pull. And then take note, what's going on with your head and neck? We want to be as stationary as we can be. Draw that chin in, looking forward. Kind of right between the feet or right at that floor position. Last one. And come on up. So slowly come on up. Let's give a little bit of a twist here. Loosen up that low back. And we're getting ready for our squatting work next. So I'm going to be demoing to the chair. I'm going to go without weights on this first set. And once again, we're going to have a minute to practice. So feet about hip width apart. When you're ready, you're going to push your knees wide. Sit the hips on back and then pull yourself tall. Reaching out, drawing tall. Good. I'm demoing nice and steady here. So you choose your tempo. Our first area of focus is our mechanics. So we want to feel like we can really have those good mechanics, keeping our heels planted, chest tall, knees pushing out. Breathing in as you lower down. Breathe out as you drive into the floor and stand tall. Wonderful. 20 seconds left. Push those knees wide, drive that chest tall. See if you can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Maybe one more. Sit it back, stand it up, and shake it out. All right, everyone, we're getting ready for that dumbbell row on the opposite side of the body. So if you're in your left arm last time, now we'll go to your more dominant side if that happens to be the right. Draw the stomach in, feet about hip width apart. Hinging forward with those hips. And 2, 1, here we go. Elbow nice and high. These dumbbell rows do wonder for our shoulders. Keep that shoulder blade moving through that rib cage. A lot of times our shoulders will get stiff and we'll lose the ability to have that glide and slide of that shoulder blade along the rib cage. The dumbbell row is also one of my favorite exercises for our posture because it helps to guide that shoulder blade to have that mid-back strength to keep our torso nice and tall and avoid that rounded shoulder position. So you want to think about drawing that shoulder down out of the ear and in towards the spine. All the while that elbow pulls high. 15 seconds left. Stay strong through the belly and stable through the head and neck. Breathe in for the reach, breathe out on the pull. Last rep and rest. All right, short rest here. Let's give a little stretch. Let's go a little bit of a side sway stretch. Reaching up to overhead, reaching across the opposite thigh. All right. And then from here, we're going to get ready. You can either come down to the floor. I want you to be on your hands, though, like the top of a push-up, or I'm going to demo from the chair. So you're going to draw the stomach in, making your way into that plank position. You can use the back of a couch as well, bedside, whatever works. And we're going to hold this plank upwards of a minute here. Chin in and body nice and strong. Now, sometimes just imagining yourself holding this position for a minute is really challenging. But if you know yourself and you know that you can hold this for more than a minute, but maybe you want a little bit more challenge right now, you can turn it into a mountain climber where you keep that upper body stable and you practice drawing your knee towards the same side elbow, having as little movement through the hips as you can. And I would breathe out as I draw the knee up. Wonderful. We're well over halfway. We've got about 20 seconds left. Keep those arms strong, nice and straight. Continue to draw that belly button in towards the spine. We don't want those hips to drop down. 10 seconds. 1 or 2 more. And take a rest. Wonderful job, everyone. Come on up. Shake it out. We're going to take about 20 seconds. And then we'll be back for round 2, working that single arm row. And now if you remember, we're going to go shorter intervals each time. So we just did a minute of each exercise. Now we're going to work into a 45-second range. Feet about hip width apart. Draw that belly in. 2, 1, and begin. Dumbbell row. Reaching down, drawing that elbow high. Good. You want to feel like you're nice and stable through the upper body. The arm that's supporting you should be straight. Fingers spread nice and wide so you're not just leaning into that wrist, but activate those little arches of your hand. We hear a lot of talk about the arches of the feet, but we don't often talk about the arches of the hand. But they're there. And if we activate those little muscles, then that takes some of the pressure off of that wrist joint. Good. 1 or 2 more. Breathing in on the reach, breathing out on the row, and rest. Wonderful. Stand it up. Back to our squats next. I'm going to continue to demo from the chair. Set the feet, that squatting position, draw the belly in, and when you're ready, reach it out. Standing tall, knees push wide. I'm using No weights today, but you can hold like a light weight here. If you are sitting down, try not to plop. See if you can just lightly touch like the back of your thighs to the chair and then stand from there instead of fully sitting down. So that will help you to kind of keep that tension in your legs. Sometimes tension is a good thing. Keep that muscle pump. So you're kind of staying engaged throughout the movement. I apologize, I lost a little bit track of when we started. Let's go 10 more seconds. Doesn't have to be perfect here. We just want to move well, moving and breathing. Last rep and rest. Beautiful. We're going to do one more exercise. And then if those of you wearing the bands, we're going to release the air out of this last dumbbell row. So we're going to go to your dominant arm this time. Keeping the feet apart. Draw the stomach in with that soft bend in the knees, forward bow. And when you're ready, elbow high. Breathe in to reach forward. Breathe out as you draw it up and in. If you're feeling any tension in that low back, you could try a higher support for that supporting arm. So instead of maybe using the seat of a chair, the source, top of the chair, back of the couch to have a higher, and that would be a little bit less challenging on that lower back position. Otherwise, this is also that forward hinge. Strong for that rep. Keep it if you like. Get to the floor.
Hi, Shirley. I lost her. So I left and came back in.
Yeah, it looks like her connection came. I bet she's trying to reconnect.
Yeah,
Oh, there she comes.
I think she's doing what I did.
All right, I switched services. I'm not sure what happened, but we are back on, everybody. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah, we can
All
hear
right,
you.
great. So we just finished those planks and mountain climbers. We're going to go one more time through each exercise with that dumbbell row. And now this will be our last circuit on these exercises, and we're going to work for 30 seconds on each. And then we're going to have a nice stretch break. So now that we have the bands off, if you have a little bit heavier weight that you want to challenge yourself for this last round, go ahead and pick up the heavier weight that you feel comfortable with for this dumbbell row. Draw that stomach in, set the feet. Come in that forward fold. And 3, 2, 1, here we go. So elbow up and reaching forward. Get you started here. I'm going to come back and put everybody on mute. You just keep on moving. Elbow high. Excellent. All the challenges of technology. There you go. Halfway through. Moving and grooving now. Reach it forward. Squeeze that shoulder in towards the spine. Maybe 1 or 2 more. Up and in. Down and reach. And resting there. Good. If you remember, in between arms, we're practicing our squats. So in this last round, if you feel like you can hold some weight, the heaviest weight that you can feel comfortable to hold a good position. I'm still going to show it from the sit stand, and I'm going to hold the weight right underneath my shoulders. Set the feet about hip width apart. And then when you're ready, lightly sending those hips back. Try not to plop onto your seat, but just barely touching. Drawing the belly in towards the spine. Squeeze the tush as you stand tall. And then notice that tendency for the toes to raise up as you sit the hips back. I can feel it in my own body. Try to push that big toe down as you drive the knees wide. Good. One or two more. Final time. And rest. Nice work. You're going to finish out that dumbbell row on your more dominant side this time. Setting the feet about hip width apart. Draw that stomach in. Forward hinge here. And 3, 2, 1. When you're ready. Think about establishing that long neck position. So as I pull the elbow up towards the ceiling, I want to imagine drawing that shoulder down and out of the ear. You can pause in that top position, squeezing that shoulder blade in towards the spine, reinforcing that broad chest position where we want that shoulder blade to sit back on that rib cage. Last one, and rest. All right, wonderful job here. We're almost done with this circuit. Last exercise is that plank. So either coming down to the floor, holding the top of the push-up, or join me here with an elevated plank. Reaching the hands down. Nice straight arms, draw that stomach in. 30 seconds starts now. If you're a little bit winded, just hold that plank. If you want to really challenge that breathing, move into that mountain climber. Because guess what? As you raise those knees up, you're compressing your diaphragm a bit. So it makes it harder to breathe. Draw the chin in, look straight between the hands. Keeping those arms nice and straight. And 3, 2, 1, and everybody rest. Woohoo! All righty. Doesn't feel quite as cold as it did 20 minutes ago. Let's go ahead and grab a drink. Join me in the chair. We're going to take a few minutes to stretch. And then we've got one more circuit for anybody that wants to stay on for our third and final circuit. All right, everybody. Nice work. As you come to seated, let's just give a little bit of release to the upper body and shoulders with some reverse shoulder circles. You're going to shrug those shoulders up and into the ears and then glide them back and down. Beautiful. All right, from here, we're going to move into a little bit of a seated side stretch. You can also do this from standing if you prefer. Take one hand on the hip, opposite hand. You're going to start up at the shoulder, and then you're going to gently reach up to overhead. If you're comfortable to do so, turn the gaze so you peer up at that hand. And then we're going to breathe here for 2 to 3 breaths. See if you can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. When you're ready, lower that arm down. Same thing, other side. Ensure that you're sitting right up on those sit bones or standing tall. One hand on the hip, other hand comes up to overhead. If you're stable there, turn the gaze, peering up at that hand, and then 2 to 3 breaths here, lengthening that side body. When our side body is tight, it could be one of the causes for a stiff low back. One more breath, and then release that arm. Beautiful. We're going to take it into our seated forward fold next. This somewhat mimics a child's position from the floor. When you're sitting up nice and tall, you're going to draw the belly in, hands to the thighs. You can lower the chin to the chest and then just slowly slide on down. Allowing that back to round on this one. No forcing, just see where you're comfortable to find that gentle stretch, most commonly in that mid or low back. And then once you've established, like, okay, there's a bit of a stretch, center into the breathing, trying to expand that area where you feel the tension. On the next breath, gradually come back up to seated. Wonderful. All right, 2 more stretches, glute stretch and then figure 4. So sitting tall, lift one leg up, interlace the hands, and we're looking to cross that foot over the opposite knee. Shift the hands to the outer part of the thighs. And now think about, you're going to try to bring this knee towards that opposite hip or shoulder. Like I'm trying to pull, this would be your right leg, try to pull it to the left side. Use it to open the mid body as well, the upper body, shoulders back and down. Kind of feel that gentle engagement between the mid back. Good. We're going to keep this foot crossed over the other side and shift into figure 4. So grab onto that ankle, reposition the body so now this knee starts to lower down. Try to keep it gentle. I know this can get uncomfortable quick. Breathe through it. If you find yourself like grimacing or feel like you're really starting to sweat some bullets here, then just ease out of it a little bit. Otherwise, it's hold about 10 more seconds. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe. When you're ready, gradually unwind from there. In between sides, we're going to do one more stretch. So I was on my left leg. Make sure you take note which leg you were just stretching so we don't get confused. From here, let's take the hand across to the opposite knee. Hold on to the seat of that chair, then slide on down. This should give you a stretch on the opposite side of the body. Typically the side you're reaching away from, you'll feel that stretch. Bow the head down. Breathe about 3 times here. And then when you're ready, gradually come on up and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Sitting up tall, hold on to the chair. Hand comes across that opposite knee and then just gently slide down the outer aspect of that shin. Oh, that feels nice. Draw that chin in. Great time to just close those eyes for a moment and feel the body breathing. Trying to expand the sides of the body on that inhale. And seeing if your body wants to stretch slightly farther on that exhale. One more breath. And come on up. All right, we got to balance out those hips now. Glute stretch on the opposite leg. Interlace, grab it onto that shin, drawing those shoulders back. And now we're trying to take that knee, pulling it across the body. Get a little stretch through the hip here. Smile and breathe. I don't know if you guys can hear our hound dog, but we missed our hound dog in the background. You can hear him through the garage. About 10 more seconds here, and then we'll switch into that figure 4. Very nice. When you're ready, look to grab the ankle of that side and invite that knee to lower down. Still staying tall. And just ever so gently place the hand on the knee. Chin in towards the chest and think about trying to lift the top of that head up towards the sky. All right, as we get ready for this next circuit, it's going to be 2 rounds. We're going to be working a little bit of balance with our tandem stance. You're also going to want to have that long band out. When you're ready, go ahead and come out of that figure 4. You can grab a drink and come on up. So when I say long band, let me find mine here. I'm referring to one of these long TheraBands if you have it. We're going to be doing our pull aparts here, a little bit more strengthening for that mid back, a little bit more opening for the chest and shoulders. And then after the second leg on the balance work, we're going to be practicing our full squat position. All right, so first for that tandem stance mimics walking on that tightrope. So let's start with your left foot forward. You're going to place that left foot forward, really lift up through that belly and midline, and then you're going to inch that trail leg as close as you can behind that front leg. Just like you're up on that balance beam, but thankfully we're down on the floor. And now you want to try to find that awareness. Your shoulders are over your hips, belly drawn in, squeeze the tush, raise those arms to the side, and our 30 seconds starts now. The head and neck tends to drop forward too. So pull the chin in. Still imagine that you've got those strings drawing you up towards the ceiling. If you want any more challenge than this already provides, practice what it feels like to close your eyes. But I warn you, that can send you off balance pretty quickly. Woohoo, I just closed mine. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Find that big toe, try to push it down, work that balance, and step on out. Great job. Carefully step that back leg out. Go to your band next. We're going to give a break for that balance and work those pull aparts. And we're doing our supinated position. So holding that cup of soup, palms up, band in the hands. Arms are going to reach out in front of the body, midline drawn in. And then when you're ready, close the hands and open the hands. Breathe in as you close, breathe out as you open. And now it's a similar movement to what we focused on with that upright row, except for the elbows are staying inside the body, but through the shoulder blades, squeezing those shoulder blades in towards the spine. Open chest position. One or two more. And resting here. Good job. Set the band down. We're going to return to the tandem stance. Now it should be your right foot forward. So we're back to that imaginary balance beam. Set the right foot forward. Walk that left foot as closely behind as you feel confident. And then you're going to stand up nice and tall. Draw the stomach in. Stack the shoulders over the hips. And 30 seconds starts now. Squeeze the tush. Watch that head position. Draw that chin in, keeping that head stacked right over top of those shoulders. Call in your support crew to help keep you tall, help with that balance option to close those eyes, or just focus straight ahead. Almost there. 2, 1, and resting there. Good job. Unwalk the feet. So we did a lot of sit stand work in that second circuit. Now we're going to practice that full squat. If you are confident that you can go all the way through that full squat without supporting your upper body, then you can work that squat without holding on. If that squatting position is hard for you, work with me here by finding somewhere to hold on to. You can even go over to the doorway and just stand in the doorway and hold on to that doorway. So for that full squat, you're going to push your knees out, hold on as needed or reach on forward. And now I want you to sink your hips down as far as you're comfortable. This gives a really good opening for the body. You can hang out down here, and then when you're ready, drive those feet straight down to the floor and come up nice and tall. Very nice. We're going to take about another 20 seconds. Knees push wide, holding on or reaching those arms out. And then pushing straight into the floor, coming on up. On this next step, try to have some awareness of the belly. You know how we talk about kind of like the pelvic floor a little bit, like where you would try to stop your body from going to the bathroom. Try to engage those little muscles as you lower down into that squat. And then try to hold that engagement through that midline as you push through the feet and stand tall. Wonderful. All right, friends. When you finish there, 2 options. Either meet me in the chair, or if you feel strong with your balance, you can stay standing. We're going to be working our alternating knee to elbow. So this will be the movement. I'm going to demo from the chair. We're going to work for 30 seconds. So sit or stand tall. And when you're ready, here we go. Breathe in as you open. Breathe out as you pull that elbow across the body. So we're working our brain a little bit here. Working those hip flexors a bit to raise those knees up. And obviously that midline. Good, about 10 more seconds. Sit or stand tall. It's our last exercise of this circuit, and then we're going to go through it one more time. 2, 1, and everybody rest. All right, let's take about a 30-second break, and then we're going to be back to our tandem stance. So we'll come back up to standing. If you've been a little bit fatigued today, feel free just to kind of hang out this last round. Do whatever feels best for your body, and then we'll do a cool down stretch at the end. Those of you that want a different challenge on the tandem stance, you could technically hold some weights up underneath your chin or at the sides. I'm going to continue to demo without any weight. So let's go left foot forward. Establish that foot down. Walk the right foot as close as you can. Draw the stomach in, standing tall. And here we go. Working through that wobble. Just watch your self-talk here. Balance exercises, I find, tend to be one of the most, kind of like self-judgment invoking exercises that we do. We tend to get really harsh with ourselves when our balance gets off. So be gentle, be kind, just like you would encourage your daughter, your friend, or your son. All right, there's our 30 seconds. Step on out of that. We've got our pull aparts in between legs. So we're going back to our bands. Supinated grip. And one thing, I'm going to come a little bit closer. When you're opening up those shoulders, make sure you don't let those shoulders roll forward. So you want to keep that broad chest, pulling them back. 2, 1, here we go. Long arms. Good. Nice. Excellent, Shirley. Open and close. Good. Perfect, Diane. Yeah, Amy, good opening position. Breathe in and then watch the head, because what happens when I open, I tend to push that head forward. I want to keep that chin back. So drawing that chin back as I open through the chest. Good. A couple more. The muscles in the front of our neck tend to get weak and short, and they kind of pull, or no, they tend to get long. Our back of our neck tends to get weak. So we want to keep them a little bit shorter. Last one, and rest. So these tend to get long and it goes extended. So the more we kind of tighten and draw them in, the better our posture for our neck. All right, final balance exercise, unless you choose to stay standing for that alternating knee to elbow. We got to do our tandem stance though. Right foot forward. It's gonna be my left, and left foot behind. Come as close as you're comfortable. Lift on up, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And 2, 1, 30 seconds starts now. I like to turn my palms up towards the sky. Being cautious not to arch that low back. So think about kind of tucking your ribs down and in to help keep those shoulders right over the hips. Good. Remember that extra challenge for anyone that feels like they'd like to play with that position of closing the eyes and then really feel your body. Try to stay on that balance beam. Woohoo! 3, 2, 1, and take that rest. Beautiful. All right, last practice of our squats. Set those feet about hip width apart. Hold on as needed. You can also, if those of you that are like strong in your range of motion, you can grab some weights here and challenge yourself with a weighted squat. Whenever you feel ready, we're going to either hold on to that weight or reach those arms out, send those hips back. Come on down into that squatting position. Beautiful. And I'm going to drive those feet straight down into the floor. The more you create that downward force, the more it helps your body to stand up nice and tall. Beautiful. Got another 20 seconds here. You can still hold on like I showed you in this last set. I'm just showing that. Great job, Shirley. Beautiful depth, Diane. Yeah, Amy, getting a little heavier here. I love it. Reaching out. And then remember on that last set, we talked about those little muscles of the pelvic floor. So try to keep those muscles strong and engaged. Just give them a little bit of attention and shake it out. Wonderful. All right, either standing tall, alternating knee to elbow, or join me in the chair. Final exercise before our cool down stretch. If you are seated in the chair, make a point to be up on those sit bones. So you can have good posture through your pelvis. And then when you're ready, we're going to go about 30 to 40 seconds here. Raising that knee up as high as you can. As you lift the knee, try to lift the foot and toes. And then we're bringing that elbow across. If you can make contact, that's pretty great. If you can't quite make contact, that's not a problem. Just something to shoot for. Working that range of motion, working that strength. And then watch those shoulders. They tend to want to start to creep up into the ears. So drawing them down. That's 30 seconds. Shake it out anytime you need. Otherwise, we're going to work for a full 40 here. And 3, 2, 1, and take a rest. Woohoo! All right, great session, everybody. We're going to finish it out with a little cool down stretch. We're going to work largely from seated here for our cool down stretch. So when you're ready, we're going to go an opener for the upper body with our tricep stretch first. A lot of these can be done from seated. So thanks for coming, Amy. We'll see you later. Reach that arm straight up in the air. Draw the chin in. Bend that elbow. And you want to fight that positioning of wanting to draw forward. So staying tall. Gently pull that elbow back. And if you feel stable here and like you have no pain through that head and neck, you can go a little bit deeper into this mobility piece with a little bit of a side bend. So I try to breathe in as I come back to that upright posture, and then a gentle breath out as I bend away from the side that we are stretching. Good. 2 to 3 more if you're choosing that side bend. Good. When you're ready, go to rest the arms down in between the sides. Let's just do some flexion and extension of the arms. So I'm going to take both hands, push them back behind me with a nice wide palm. So I'm trying to spread my hands as wide as I can from my pinky to my thumb. And then I raise both arms up as far as you're comfortable. Think about trying to push that air back behind, squeeze the chest open, and then breathe in as you raise the arms up in front. Wonderful. 2 to 3 more. Breathing out as you push back. Breathing in as you raise up. I'll go one more time. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out to lower. Super. All right, our seated rotations next. Sitting up nice and tall. You're going to bring one hand behind the head. Opposite arm can just rest on the inside of your knee. Breathing in as you lower that elbow across the body. Breathing out, just be gentle here. No forcing on that spinal twist. But if you feel solid in that position, turn the eyes and the head. Typically, you're going to turn the head first, and the eyes are going to follow. Anywhere between 3 and 5 repetitions. I invite you to pause in that open position. So you should feel the most of that opening here, pulling that elbow back. Good. 1 or 2 more, then we'll switch. Breathing in, sitting tall, breathing out. Wonderful. When you're ready, go ahead and perform the same thing on the other side. So as I bring this arm back, I can think about drawing that elbow back, get a little bit of an opening through this chest position. And then from there, I draw the elbow across. Follow the elbow with the eyes, turning and looking over that side of the body. Three to 5 on this side. Breathing in and breathing out. I'm going to take it through 1 more. Fantastic. All right, almost done, friends. Seated cat-cow is next. So sitting up tall, hands are going to come to the bottom of the thighs, just over top of the kneecaps, starting with those arms nice and straight. And now as I blow the air out, I'm going to draw the stomach in towards my spine, roll those shoulders forward and bow the head down towards the chest. And then on that breath in, slide the hands up your thighs like you're going to put your hands in your pockets, squeezing the elbows back, and just a soft lift of the head and neck. Wonderful. Let's go about 3 or 4 more times. Sliding it forward. Sliding it up. Remember this exercise when you feel stiff in the mid-back. Winter Olympics are going on right now. I don't know if you're a sports fan. Even if you're not a sports fan, sometimes it's just fantastic to hear all the stories of the athletes. There's a wonderful, wonderful figure skater now out of Russia. She's 15 years old, and she's like breaking all the records in every category. She is a phenom. Even if you don't watch the regular television, I highly recommend you could probably type in like Russian women's figure skater into YouTube and she'll pop right up. It's like watching a ballerina on ice. All right, let's go ahead and finish out with a little bit of loosening for the head and neck, and then we'll call it a session. So we're going to return to those reverse shoulder circles that we did earlier on, shrugging them up and in, rotating them back and down. You can breathe in as you shrug up, breathe out as you lower down. Try to breathe out any worry you have going on. Sometimes we fall into that trap of feeling like we never get enough done. All right, from here, let's move into some neck circles, just nice and gradual, still sitting tall. And you can ever so gently start to lower the chin down to the chest, just enough to get a gentle stretch, and then you'll circle around from there. Back to that figure skater. I wish I remembered her name. I'll try to look it up for the next class. No woman figure skater has ever landed what they call a quad, which they do 4 revolutions before coming down. Switch directions, speaking of revolutions, of your neck circles when you're ready. So last night, she was the first female athlete to ever land a quad jump in Olympic competition. And she did 3 of them in the same performance. It was just remarkable. And so amazing to watch. So if you want to be awed by human performance, check that out. I'll try to put it in the email link that I send out later on this week. All right, everybody. Last one is going to be some rotations. No, we did a lot of rotations today. Let's stretch these traps out to finish it up. If you have a nice cushioned chair, you can anchor this side of the body down by turning that palm up, lifting the hip and just sitting on that palm. If that's not an option for you, just roll the shoulder back and just kind of turn that hand up. That's simply just to give a little bit of like a anchoring of this side. From here, draw the chin in towards your chest. You're going to look down. And then if you're sitting on your left hand, lower your chin towards your right collarbone. Just very gently. You can take the hand that's not anchored down. You can take like one finger on the side that your chin is tilting away from and just barely give a little bit of overpressure there. Feeling a gentle stretch along the side of the neck. When you're ready, slowly release, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Anchoring that hand down or drawing the shoulder back and down. Retract the chin in, looking down first, and then bringing the chin to the collarbone, opposite the side that's anchored. Once again, the option to give a gentle overpressure. I'm using just my middle finger, barely touching the side of the head. Feel a little bit more stretch there. These traps hold a lot of tension for us. It's where all those larger muscles of the back and the neck kind of come up and attach to our neck and our skull. Gradually release there. And then you can even just use your fingertips and kind of take your fingers, kind of find that little ridge line at the back of the head. And then you can sink those fingers into that little tissue area there. It's a small little depression where your spine kind of sinks into your skull. You'll feel like those little tiny muscles. That's where you hold a lot of tension. So you can just use your fingertips, gradually circular positions, like little circular movements with the base of your fingers. And then you can work your way down the neck. I'm just kind of gently pushing into the little muscles there on the back of the neck. And then just relax down. Sometimes it's easier to work the traps if you do a little self-massage, like one hand at a time. I'm just using like all 4 fingers and just loosening up through that area. You bring the thumb into it if you want to add like a little pincher grip. So just take note of your body. It's always wonderful if you can see a massage therapist, get a full-on body massage, things like that. Sometimes we don't always have the resources or the means to get to somebody. So use your own body to help give yourself a little bit of love, help loosen everything up, and help yourself to feel good. So let's do our final breathing together. On the inhale, we're going to shrug up. On the exhale, depress those shoulders down, broaden through the chest. Twice more. Breathe in peace. Exhale. I don't know. Discord, breathe in love, and exhale all the stress and frustration. All right, everybody, give yourself a little round of applause. Thanks for hanging in with me today. Showing up, moving your body the best you can. We'll be back here for our live session tomorrow. Same time, same place. Otherwise, stay healthy, stay happy.